This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com, featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
And common man. No show prep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, begins a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common man. Charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
In your mirror may be closer than they appear. Brilliant!
Oh, boy.
fraud.
Yes.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the North. This is the Common Man, Dan Cole.
Hey-o! Common Man program begins in 5, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 2, 1. Ack, ack, a dack, and dack, dack, ack, 2 and yours. What is ack, ack, a dack, 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 ack? Well, it's your password for tomfoolery and for skullduggery. It will also gain you admittance into a meeting of the Loyal Order of Water Buffalo. Ooh la la. Ooh la la. It will not get you into the Minnesota State Fair. A couple 13, 14 people have tried to do that, and then what the authorities do, they pull you aside and they beat you about the kidneys with large sticks until you urinate blood, and that's not a lot of fun. Hey, thanks for coming on to the Minnesota State Fair. I'm the Common Man, Dan Cole. He is Tenneby, and we have so much to get to today. The Minnesota Golden Gopher football team starts tonight on this very radio station. They're taking on Buffalo here in, not the Bills, some other Buffalo college. Terrible team, terrible city, terrible. We basically said we want a free win. We will pay you $500,000 if you will bring your team here and let us beat you about the kidneys with large sticks until you urinate blood. And Buffalo said, we're in. So we'll get a win tonight. You'll hear that game on this radio station. Also, the Twins lose a heartbreaker last night, but that's nothing new. The Vikings will begin the season. I've got more of those predictions about the Vikings that are being negative about this soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings. Also, we're going to do a lot of hockey talk today. 1 time isn't enough. 2 times isn't enough. 3 times. Michael Russo of The Athletic will join us from 1 until 2 o'clock. Also during that time, we're going to have 2 Minnesota Frost players. Taylor Heisey.
She's on with Rose at a 2:15.
Oh, she's on with Rosen at 2:15.
Yeah, that's a 2.
Oh,
they're at 2:15.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right. They're 2:50. I thought they were going to be on with. So I'm all confused. Rosen at 2, and then we'll have 2 Frost players on the air at 2:15. Taylor Heisey and Grace Zumwinkle. So with all of those topics to get to, I'm not sure where to start. Let's spin the wheel of topics. You can buy a wheel of topics back here. The more you buy, the better for my job security. Please buy them early and buy them all. Buy one of every size.
Commons Golf Game.
That came out of left field, or at least the left rough.
What'd you shoot today?
77 Sunset Strip. 77 Sunset Strip.
Where'd we play?
Legends Golf Club in Prior Lake.
Where'd you hit it on one?
By the way, I went 41-36 even par.
Where'd you hit it on one?
Right up the gut.
How far from the green were you?
I had a 7-iron in my hand.
Second shot?
Just short onto the fringe, about 2 inches from rolling on, but it was a front pin left, so it was a good shot.
Then what?
Just lagged up, tap in, make a nice little par.
Incredible.
The club was my brush, the ball was my paint, the course was my canvas. It was one of those rounds where, a really hot putter can cover up a lot of different things. And it was one of those days where everything I looked at went in. It was like, the hole was like a pool of water. My putter was like a divining rod. It found it every time. And the best was on 17, the forced carry par 3, 30 feet. And as I went up to the putt, I looked in and I said, don't look at it again. Your line is perfect. And that bad boy just dropped right in the back of the cup. Brilliant. I also had 2. There were so many critical moments in the round. I don't know if we have enough time. Should we wait? Should we take it to the break and then after the break pick up where we left off?
That'll keep them hanging on. I know that. Master
professional Craig Warren is one of the best instructors in the entire world. I share the same swing instructor with Frankie Sappin III, who is from North Oaks, who has a tour card, is playing PGA golf right now. Craig Warren, he is Frankie's swing coach. He's also mine, though Craig would probably want me to keep that quiet, that he's my swing coach. But he taught me this little chip shot. I'm going to give you guys a little secret right now. You know that shot where you're just maybe 6-8 inches in the rough, and it's a tight cut?
No, I'm usually further back.
Well, you're further back. Okay,
yeah.
But if you're ever just a couple of inches, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches in the rough, and you're pitching onto the green, especially if it's a tight cut pin, trying to do the old pinch it, and you flub and you blade and all that. He says, take your wedge, stand tall, lift the heel off the ground, and turn the toe in and use a putting stroke. It looks weird. No, he doesn't believe in it. That's why he's leaving. He doesn't think it'll work. I guarantee you. And then you just do a putting stroke. It just picks the ball up just over the rough and then drops it gently onto the fringe or on the green and rolls up. I had 3 of those today that went right into tap-in range. It was so much fun today. I think I'm back. Are you happy for me?
I'm happy that you're happy.
And I'm happy that you're happy that I'm happy.
And I'm happy that you're happy that I'm happy that you're happy.
Now, I don't really think I'm back. It was just one of those days, how sometimes everything goes in your favor. But I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm going to accept.
If it were up for you, you would just leave the show now and just go back to Legends.
Well,
play
I'd
another
like
18.
to. Yeah, I mean, and we used to remember that was where the superstar Mike Morris always held his SMA tournament.
Yeah.
And so we would. I played that course hundreds. That's probably an exaggeration, but dozens of times, and it was a lot of fun, and we enjoyed ourselves today. Hit, knockdown, punch cut, fade draws. It is Gopher Football tonight. Tend to be on this radio station,
yes.
And again, Rosen almost seemed to want to apologize for it, and what I was saying, I'll know when the Minnesota Golden Gophers has reached a point where they can be taken really serious as, hey, this is a team this team could be in the top 25, and they could maybe even, believe it or not, make a run at a Big Ten title, become a powerhouse team when they're opening against Texas instead of Buffalo. See what I'm saying? And that was a point I was trying to make to him, and I don't think he understood that. That to me is the true barometers when you're not saying, I got to front load the schedule with cupcakes. I got to get those 3 wins so we're 3-0 because, the Big Ten schedule, which is actually now the Big 18, it can be rough and tumble. Now they do, as you look at the schedule, and again, I'm not familiar with all the Big Ten teams and how good they are, but you don't have Michigan, you do have the Ohio State University, but it seems like it's a palatable schedule, one that might favor them slightly. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how good they are.
9-3 according to Rosen.
Yeah, exactly, 9-3. But when 3 of those wins come against Buffalo, Northwestern State, and the third game is California.
Cal.
And here's what he said. Well, I'm going to pick them to beat California because they've done well against UCLA and other countries. What are those games? They'd have nothing to do with one another, but that was his logic of why he thought it'd be good.
Also, isn't that history pretty recent? I mean,
it's very recent. So I didn't understand.
They just joined our conference last year, did they not?
Yeah, that's correct. So I didn't really understand his logic, but I just let it go.
From a geographical standpoint, because they're from the same state.
That's correct. That's what was his logic. And if I picked apart everything he said, I'd rip him more than I really do. Sometimes you just got to let things go. Like, for instance, he said, Michigan has owned Ohio State in this decade. No, in the last 10 years, Ohio State leads a series 6-4.
I think it was 7-3.
Or 7-3. It's just that the last 3 times Michigan is us, but that's not a decade. That's just 3 years. But he could only see what's directly in front of him. That's the last a couple of games. But that's okay, too. But until that happens, it's hard for me to take the Minnesota Golden Gophers too terribly seriously. Though, hey, you go, and you got to make sure you win those games. That's the problem. That's the danger of scheduling cream puffs. Because if you lose to one of them, now all your credibility is gone, right? I mean, let's say they were to lose that third game to Cal. So now they're 2-1, and any hopes of putting together a record that at least gives you a really good bowl game or keeps you on the periphery of maybe getting into the Big Ten championship game, it's over. You're done. And you're not going to get very high in the rankings because they're going to look at that game. There's not much margin for error with this club. Yesterday we had a tragic situation at the Annunciation School, and a lot of people were disturbed by it and saddened by it and angry about it, including our friend Mouth Guitar Guy here. And he wanted to issue a statement. He said, I fully agree with everything that was said at the press conference, and everyone knows me as Mouth Guitar Guy. But I'm also known as Antone Del Monte, and Tony Del Monte. My very deepest condolences to families, friends, teachers, kids, and everyone else. I care very much for everybody around the world, but people like me and others that are mentally ill or physically challenged. We have a voice. We are nice people. We are not all this way, maybe only a slight percentage of people. And I just want people to understand that even though you're very healthy and smart, there's a quote I want to leave you with, 2, in fact. He says, I am autistic and I'm proud of it and never will be guilty by it. This goes for anybody who has whatever challenge they have. Don't let people stop what you do. Don't stop what you want to do. Just be nice and care about each other. Number 2, this one is the most important. There's no such thing as normal and no such thing as perfection. If we were, we would all be robots. Thank you. Any questions? I'll be at the fair tomorrow. Mouth Guitar Guy. Mouth Guitar Guy, that was very well said and heartfelt. That's mouth guitar guy. And so on that note, we'll take a short break. We'll come back with more. We got plenty to get to, include Peek at the Purple on the other side of the break. We're broadcasting live from the Minnesota State Fairgrounds, Carousel Park, shadows of the grandstand right here on The Fan.
In the heat of battle, your squad relies on you. Don't let them down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Dominate every match with next-level speed, seamless streaming, and performance that won't quit. And push your gameplay beyond limits with Intel Core Ultra processors. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel Inside. Maximize your edge by shopping at Lenovo.com during their back-to-school sale. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com, featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
Looking to buy your first car or home? Understanding your FICO score is key to achieving your life goals. Knowing your FICO scores helps you apply for loans with confidence and avoid surprises. With MyFICO, you get access to your FICO score, credit reports, 24/7 monitoring, and alerts on the go. Take the mystery out of your score and get your FICO score for free today. Visit myfico.com/free. That's myfico.com/free and discover the score lenders use most.
Minnesota State Fairgrounds is the location of today's show. It's show 6 for us. We're back tomorrow as well. Tomorrow, Program Password, more on that a little bit later. Tend to be, we know we have Michael Russo from The Athletic to talk wild hockey in the National Hockey League from 1 until 2, Rosen and a couple of Frost players. Anything else in the, me, and then, of course, Mouth Guitar Guy closes out the show. Any guests during the 12:30 segment?
Not at all.
Oh, boy, we're in trouble now. We'll do our best. We'll tap dance. We'll figure it out one way or the other. Time now for Peek at the Purple. Peek at the Purple brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. If you are part of the mad rush to buy an electric vehicle before the September 30th deadline, when they will remove that $7,500 rebate, you know you're also going to need to put a 240-volt kind of plug-in thing so your car charges more quickly. They do that at Affordable Electric. They're getting a lot of orders for that right now. So if that's in your plans, go to affordable-electric.com, affordable-electric.com. And remember, Affordable Electric is shockingly affordable. I'd rather walk on a bed of hot coals and get stuck with that again. Speaking of Peek at the Purple, they've announced their captains.
Yes.
I think they actually named too many. I think they have more captains than they have players on the roster. How do they need this many team captains? Here's your list. He's J.J. McCarthy is listed as a captain on the club, as is Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones Sr., the long snapper, Andrew DePaula, Josh Metellus, safety, Jonathan Grenard, Brian O'Neill, and I thought they traded Harrison Smith.
The hitman.
Didn't they?
I thought they traded him, yeah.
I thought they traded him.
Did we get him back?
I guess we must have got him back.
Did he not pass his physical?
He's also been announced as a captain. So those are your team captains for the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings.
Why not get the 10 captains? Why did we stop at 8?
I don't know. Well, here's what I want to know is... Now,
what's the Guinness World Record for most captains on a professional team?
That's another question. What I want to know is... Look, I not only have 4 years of college eligibility remaining, but I have 2 of high school. I played organized team sports through 7th grade. Then I tuned in, turned on, dropped out, spent most of my junior high and high school days filled with a multicolored galaxy of uppers and downers and screamers and laughers, and that was it for me. I went from the straight and narrow to the long and winding road, and those were my Haight-Ashbury days. What is the function of a captain? Is it just something they just, hey, we just want to... He's kind of a team leader, and we really like him, so it's like a slap on the back. Because what does a team captain respond? I've always thought the whole captain thing was kind of just when it was. Is it meaningful in any way, shape, or form? You played team sports. You were a team.
I was captain. Yeah.
Yeah.
In football, it's a really big role because you have to go out to the middle of the field for the coin flip.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got to decide whether you're going to kick or receive or defer. That's a lot on your shoulders right there.
It's a big responsibility.
Yes. Baseball, they really don't do captains, do they?
I don't think.
Basketball, I don't know if Anthony Edwards is our captain. I feel like it's only a hockey
I don't think they
thing.
have in basketball.
Hockey, it's big. Like to get the letter C on your jersey is a huge honor. I would say for the most part in hockey, you're kind of responsible a little bit for the players in the room and making sure no one's getting out of hand and doing what they're supposed to do, and kind of just a liaison from the coach to the rest of the players.
I see. Okay.
You're also out there to talk to referees during like a timeout or a whistle if you need an explanation as to why that penalty was called or why our guy went off sides in the Stanley Cup playoffs when if you just would have waited 1 second, we would have beat the Vegas Golden Knights and maybe have won the series, that kind of thing.
Correct.
Other than that, I think it's more just probably like an honor than
right. That's what I was wondering. But there is a function to it. There is some function.
A little bit, yeah.
Now in football, like you say, other than the coin flip, I don't know what that would be. And again, I'm not calling for, me, there was a stretch there where I was calling for the abolishment of anything I didn't like. I'm calling for the abolishment of this or that and the other thing. And matter of fact, I think we even had a State Fair T-shirt that said I'm calling for the abolishment, and then you could write in anything you wanted. So I'm not calling for the abolishment of the captaincies, but I've always thought they're kind of. I guess I kind of rolled my eyes, shrugged my shoulders, and shook my head and said, I think it is, like you say, it's kind of an honor to
Do they have their own separate committee where they go meet once a month?
I don't know.
Talk about captaincy stuff, what's going on with the team?
That's what I don't know. And especially, like you say, in hockey, is it usually just a C and an A, one of each, and alternate?
Sometimes, 2 A's.
They might have 2 A's, but there's only one captain, right?
In the NHL, yes. At lower levels.
Okay.
Even that's got out of hand, right? Like, there's so many college hockey teams that will name 4 or 5 captains. And it's like, there's 20 guys on the team.
Who's the captain of the Minnesota Wild? Does that change every year?
Well, it's Jared Spurgeon.
Okay.
Last year, the A's, man, if I can remember correctly, was it Eriksson Ek and was Kaprizov? I don't recall exactly. That's how meaningless I think it is. But Jared Spurgeon's the captain.
Do they vote on that every year? Is it a vote or does the coach name it? How does that work?
Every team's different.
Okay.
I've coached hockey teams where I've had the kids vote. The team vote on it. I know, like, when I was in high school and I was chosen, that was not a player vote. That was just the coach.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, the players wouldn't like me.
No.
Yeah.
Because I would think if it's a vote, there would be almost like an election, like a campaign,
My guess is
2 chickens in every pot, 3 hat tricks into every net.
My guess at the professional level, it's not a player's vote. It's the head coach and the GM and anyone else having a discussion about it. Because they're already talking about who's the next captain of the Minnesota Wild. Because Jared Spurgeon's.
Is it just a 1-year deal?
Technically, I guess it's year to year, but
okay.
At this stage, you're not stripping Jared Spurgeon of the C. Remember the longest time when Mikko Koivu was here? That was like a main fan complaint, is they wanted to strip the C from Mikko Koivu because fans thought he was a poor leader and was the reason why they could never get out of the first round of the playoffs.
And what inside information did they have to make that?
They don't have any inside information.
Like, were they in the locker room during?
Maybe when Bruce was on at 1:00, you can tell us, hey, was Mikko Koivu a good captain or not? That could be your first question.
That could be very controversial.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I'm not sure I want to get into those kinds of things. We're not a very controversial program, as you know. So, well, anyway, so.
But even like the alternates in hockey, right? Like,
what do they do?
Yeah, like last year, I think Kaprizov had the A, and then he was out for a while with an injury. So I think Foligno took it over. I couldn't tell you on the ice that they're really not doing anything for it.
Is the A an iron-on patch, or do they actually like stitch it into?
They stitch it.
Really?
Well, the other A controversy is
A.
There's always been a debate as to what the A really means. I grew up thinking it was alternate. There's other that thinks it's assistant captain. So we don't even know exactly what the A means.
This is controversial.
What camp are you in? Assistant camp or alternate camp?
What is it? How many people think the A show your allegiance? Maybe it's for allegiance. Show your allegiance with clapping. Do you think the A stands for assistant? Clap your hands. How many think alternate? Clap your hands. I think alternate too. I've always thought of it as alternate. Now, that's a controversial question. Please don't tell people we discussed it today on the radio, because I don't want to get in any further trouble than I already am.
How come in football they don't have alternates? They're all just captains.
Yeah.
I bet you PJ Fleck has 10 captains on the Gophers.
I bet he probably does. Well, and then, I know McCarthy's the quarterback and they all love him, and apparently he's shown some leadership qualities. You haven't taken a snap in the NFL, you're already team captain?
That is a little weird.
Well, yeah. So if I'm Grenard is one of them. Who's our other guy?
Jonathan Grenard.
Who's our other guy? Gink?
Van Ginkel.
If I'm Gink, I'm going, oh, wait a minute. What about me? I've been here longer than this kid's been here. Why am I not a captain?
Why is Byron Murphy Jr.
Well,
not a captain?
that's it. But my guess is Gink.
Why is Christian Darrisaw not a captain?
Yeah, see, that's what this is too controversial. Let's take a break and we'll come back. We have more to get to. By the way, Peek at the Purple brought to you by friends at Affordable Electric. So for any of your electrical needs, I highly encourage you to visit affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. And remember, Affordable Electric is shockingly affordable. Back after the break, we're broadcasting live, Minnesota State Fair. We're in Carousel Park in the shadows of the grandstand right here on the Fan.
In the heat of battle, your squad relies on you. Don't let them down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Dominate every match with next-level speed, seamless streaming, and performance that won't quit. And push your gameplay beyond limits with Intel Core Ultra processors. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel Inside. Maximize your edge by shopping at Lenovo.com during their back-to-school sale. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com. Featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
Looking to buy your first car or home? Understanding your FICO score is key to achieving your life goals. Knowing your FICO scores helps you apply for loans with confidence and avoid surprises. With MyFICO, you get access to your FICO score, credit reports, 24/7 monitoring, and alerts on the go. Take the mystery out of your score and get your FICO score for free today. Visit myfico.com/free and discover the score lenders use most.
Key moment in today's 77 tend to be as I'm on 15 at Legends Club, and I hit a good drive, but I still have 160-ish to the pin, a little over 160, and it's tucked back right or middle right, but you have to go over the water if you're going to try to get to that flag. And I got a good day going. I'm coming off a birdie. I've gone birdie par birdie. Now the crowds are starting to run to the next tee box to watch me tee off. I mean, I'm creating some excitement out of the golf course. So that's like a 5-iron for me, but my iron play is really sketchy. So I decide I'm going to hit a 3/4 peel cut hybrid, and I'm going to try to cut it in there. But I'm not going to get I take the B-flow approach. I'm going to be aggressive, but not reckless. But I don't think I give it quite enough, or I peeled it a little too much, because it looks like it's going to be a perfect shot. It's just starting to slightly cut, and I think it's going to hit the green and roll up. It hits the mound on the front side of the green, on the front side in front of the green, bounces right and goes into the water. So now I'm in 2. I got to take a drop in 3. Okay. So, and I don't want to make 6 here. I mean, this is like I've got a round going here, right? I mean, I'm 4 over at this point. So I take my drop, I hit a nice little soft wedge, but a little too much, and it goes a couple 13, 14 feet past, and I'm standing over the 13, 14-footer, and I thought of you. And I thought,
that's kind of sad.
Not that I was going to fist pump, but I said, because you tell me to do this every time, I go, I've got to have this putt.
Yeah.
And I buried it for bogey. And then I went par, birdie par to finish.
How good is that?
Yeah, it was really good, but I had to have that.
It was a make or break moment.
Well, that's it. If I don't, if I miss that putt, I make 6, okay, and that would still be a good round. But I didn't want to sully the card. A double just ruins it, and that's 2 shots past par last I checked. And what if I 3-putted at that point? So there could have been all sorts of trouble.
Well, not to mention, not only is your round at stake, but your happiness and your mood for the rest of the day. Like. Now,
bingo.
Every commercial break, you're just staring at your card in awe of yourself.
You just saw me doing that. Yeah, I was just looking at my card. I was in awe of myself. How many people, when you play golf, when you're playing well, you actually become in awe of yourself? Clap your hands. See, some people think that's an awe. Remember, the legendary Chad Hartman, he used to work on this radio station. He disliked Greg Norman for, I think, a number of reasons. But one of them was after Norman won the 93 Open Championship, he shot 64 on the last day. And they asked him what he was thinking. He goes, well, I didn't miss a shot all day. I was in awe of myself. And Hartman thought he was being too cocky. It's like, well, what is he? He was in awe of himself. He's playing in the oldest championship in the world. It's the final round. He shoots 64 to beat the best players in the world. Why wouldn't he? Do you want him to just go, well, I hit it pretty good today, and just got lucky in a couple of spots and just stayed patient? The same old tired cliches. He told you the truth.
Yeah.
He was in awe of himself. Today, on the backside at Legends, I was in awe of myself. Is there anything wrong with that? Russo, is there anything wrong with being in awe of yourself? No.
He's in awe of his writing all the time.
That's I'm sure I'm
like, I broke the news again for the Minnesota Wild. I'm in awe of myself.
And my guess is he's written a piece, and he gets to that last paragraph, and it's this flowery prose. It's almost like Hemingway, and he just goes, he hits the send button to The Athletic, and he goes, I nailed it. It's brilliant.
He's the Scotty Scheffler of Minnesota Wild beat reporting.
Yes. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being in awe of yourself. Mouth guitar guy's in awe of himself. You wait till he sees his performance today, and if it's like off the charts and he gets goosebumps, he'll fist pump like that because he felt like he nailed it. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
I would love to be in awe of myself.
Yeah,
I've never been there.
Usually you feel awful about yourself rather than awe of yourself. Except for that time that you had an experience that was not unlike that of a PGA Tour player when you shot that 70-foot still.
I always love that
How
one.
did that not win the PST when Charge?
It didn't even make the Foolish Four.
No, it didn't even make the Foolish Four. So I found another one of those list stories. What is list radio? Lazy radio.
Lazy radio.
And what do we have the market cornered on? Lazy radio here on the Common Man program. So
I always love that one.
CBS Sports is my go-to list lazy radio stuff. So now this one is entitled, because they got a lot of time to kill before the season opener, one reason why your NFL team will disappoint in 2025.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, one reason. Now,
I already know the Minnesota Vikings.
yes, exactly, because it's the same thing every single time.
Over and over and over.
But let's start with your Detroit Lions. What do you think it is for them? They call it...
Well, there could be multiple things there. It could be the offensive line. It could be the change in coordinators.
It's the coordinators. They go off-season turnover. Speaking of... Because they talk about Ben Johnson. They started with Chicago, but we'll get to that. Speaking of Ben Johnson, he's no longer Detroit. Neither is former Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, who took former passing game coordinator Tanner Engstrand with him to New York. Frank Ragnow retired. Kevin Zeitler signed with Tennessee. There was just a whole lot of change going on here, especially on the offensive side of the ball. It's a lot to deal with, even for a team as talented and well-coached as the Lions. And that's all legitimate, right? We will find out, and this won't be just Bruce positive case closed, but this will certainly be a real example of how much does a coordinator mean to either the offense or defense, especially in Detroit's case, because Ben Johnson was considered brilliant. There were many that thought he would leave before last season because his name was on the top of the coaching list. But you and I talked about this, and I think you agreed with me. I think Ben wanted to see it through because they were one win. They were one half from getting to the NFC Championship game, and with everybody coming back, I'm sure he thought to himself, I'll get another head coaching opportunity. We might go to the big game here, and I put this offense together. I want to see it through one more year, and they went 15-2. But then he went, well, I guess we're not going to go. But we'll see what a difference an offensive coordinator makes, I think. Now, there have been position changes, too, but...
We'll also see how good of a coach Dan Campbell is, right?
Yes.
Like, clearly, he has elevated that program to a place basically it's never been, or I guess maybe they had some moments in the Barry Sanders, Herman Moore era, but to basically be an NFC contender here a couple of years in a row, have a chance to go to the big game. But now you lose your coordinators, you lose one that was thought to be one of the top offensive coordinators in football. Now we'll see how much of that was on the coordinators and how much you're able to adapt to different coordinators and having more the system stuff be yours. Because let's face it, like we all kind of judged him off of his first press conference, and he came across as a little dopey.
Yeah, right. He did.
And I have no doubt that the players are willing to go through a wall for this guy. Yeah. I think that's one of his. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He coaches with passion. I still don't know how much of the X's and O's is on him, and I guess maybe we'll find out a little bit more without two coordinators how much he really knew about all that stuff.
That's the one thing you and Dan Campbell do have in common. No, stay with me here.
Okay.
You said the
we're
players...
both dopey?
Well, I guess there's two things. You're both dopey.
Okay.
The other is you said that his players would run through a wall with him. How many times have you played a Vikings montage or a Wolves montage or a Wild montage or whatever montage,
yeah.
And we've had listeners say they would run through a wall. So you'd have that effect on people. They would run through a wall for you because of your work.
We're about 10 days away from another one.
That's exactly right. The Green Bay Packers, and I think this is what you've cited a number of games. Tell me if I'm wrong. They're one thing that could make things bad for them, lack of elite talent. Because I think you've said that. They have quality, but they don't have
specifically the wide receiver position, I've said it, yeah.
Yeah, they don't have superstar players. And it says the Packers have a lot of good players on both sides of the ball. What they don't have is the field tilting stars that you need to beat the best teams. We saw that last year when they went 0-6 against the Kitties, Vikings, and Eagles, and were 11-1 against everyone else in the NFL. The Packers are bringing back mostly the same roster, and it's possible the same issue could bite them again this season. Your thoughts on that analysis?
I mean, I'm not going to be able to analyze the defensive side of the ball that well. I thought I heard this year that kind of their defensive line or their pass rush isn't expected to be that great. But I go,
Yeah.
Obviously, their corner that was injured half the time over the last couple of years.
Oh, Jair
Alexander, he's gone now. They usually don't dip their toe into free agency very much. They just try to draft and develop. And on the offensive side of the ball, I think Jordan Love is slightly above average.
Okay.
I think Josh Jacobs is above average but not elite. And, just kind of their skill positions, right? Like their tight end is, Tucker Kraft might have potential as I think it was a second year in the league last year, and he made a jump. But I don't know if he's an elite tight end. I don't think they have an elite wide receiver unless Matthew Golden surprises their rookie pick. So it's now I think you could say a lot about the Vikings in many regards of not having, other than Justin Jefferson. I don't know if there's a lot of star power on that roster either. But yeah, I just think it's it's a fine roster. It's playoff caliber roster. But when you have like national analysts that want to like throw them into like team that can go to the big game, I'm still not ready to buy it.
What do you think the one thing that would be hindering the Chicago Bears, according to CBS Sports? Caleb Williams? It says Caleb Williams ain't it. It says William, and they're not saying he is. They're just saying that's what if he ain't it. It says Williams rookie season was a disappointment. The idea coming into year 2 is that Ben Johnson in a remade O-line will lift him back to being the type of player they all thought he could be coming out of college. And it's, of course, entirely possible that we end up living in that world, but it's also possible that he doesn't fully take to Johnson's system, that Joe Thuney experiences age-related regression, that Jonah Jackson is the same guy who got benched in L.A., and the receiver core doesn't coalesce the way the Bears hope it will, etc., and Williams disappoints us all again. Right?
He had a disappointing first year. Now, Chicago historically, and especially in recent years, has not had the best infrastructure in terms of coaching to develop some of these quarterbacks, and maybe with Ben Johnson that changes. I still think there's some transition to go there. I just don't think you just pick up an offense from a new coordinator when you're that early in your career and just make magic. I tell you what, though, like in Chicago, I know it's only year 2 of Caleb Williams, but they already get me thinking it's kind of a make or break a little bit for him in that they didn't draft Jaden Daniels right same time, and Jaden exploded. Drake May had nothing to work with last year, but I think many were encouraged by this rookie year he had and expect a jump in year 2. Heck, the Vikings could potentially get better quarterback play out of a guy who was in that draft, and J.J. McCarthy. Michael Penix is going to be starting for Atlanta. Like, you had this number 1 overall pick land in your lap because of the awful trade the Carolina Panthers made with you, and then they ended up being the worst team in football. And then if you can't take advantage of that with these other starting quarterbacks potentially behind you that you could have had in a great quarterback draft year, man, that would be pretty fatal.
And that brings us to the Vikings, who you just have
let me think.
What do you think it is? J.J. McCarthy ain't it?
Ain't it, yeah.
It says Minnesota's counting on a player who's essentially a rookie to lead one of the best rosters in the NFL further than it went a year ago. McCarthy missed his entire first year in the league due to a knee injury, and while he got mental reps and had weekly meetings with O'Connell, he's still a first-year starter who didn't throw very many passes in college and who now didn't get the live reps you would usually be afforded during your rookie year. We've seen that O'Connell can scheme quarterbacks into at least a moderate degree of success, but the Vikings are surely looking for more than merely moderate success out of McCarthy. If he can't achieve that, though, their season could end up being a disappointment.
I'm a little baffled by everyone, when saying negative things about J.J. McCarthy, love to do he didn't throw a lot in college. Right. You said it the other day, he never threw for 3,000 yards. The guy was playing for a run-first head coach in Jim Harbaugh.
Yep.
Who, you'll see it with the Chargers now. Like, people are concerned about Justin Herbert's stats going down. You want to know why? Because he's got a head coach that wants to run the ball.
Right.
They wanted to run the ball in Michigan. They were capable of running the ball because they had a great offensive line. And when you're up in every football game you play, you're just not going to throw as much. So, to me, if you want to criticize J.J. McCarthy or don't think he'll be a good pro, that's fine. There are other areas you can go. But doing he didn't make enough throws. Well, how did he do when he had to do the throws?
Yeah, he made
Was
throws.
he efficient? Was he making throws on third down? He can run a little bit. How did he do in the national championship game? He performed pretty well. So, I just think I would say it's a lazy take by people to do he didn't throw a lot in college, therefore he can't throw at the pros.
You like this kid, don't you?
I do. I like
McCarthy.
JJ coming out of college.
Now,
I did.
What I like about this is the first bit of negativity I've heard about Kevin O'Connell, if you won't even consider this negative.
Really?
Well, did you hear all that was for... Yeah. Go ahead.
It doesn't sound like you hate to interrupt.
Yeah.
It sounds like you love it.
Yeah. So, I think you do. Well, here's what it said. we've seen that O'Connell can scheme quarterbacks into at least a moderate degree of success. They didn't call him the quarterback whisperer. They didn't say that he turns the water into wine, that he can part the Red Sea when it comes to quarterback play. The way they said it was, we've seen that O'Connell can scheme quarterbacks into at least a moderate degree of success because we know what Sammy Darnold did last year. And plenty of praise and credit should be given to Kevin O'Connell, I'm sure. But as I've said before, they got a quarterback coach, I'm sure, is going, I worked with him every day, too. I'm the guy running the room during, the week leading up to it. I'm pretty good at what I do as well. He spent a year in San Francisco on the bench behind Brock Purdy, but they went all the way to the big game, so he saw how a big-time operation works. And Shanahan is considered every bit as much as an offensive genius, if not more than O'Connell, right? Because he has a longer track record of doing that. Shanahan is considered very innovative. So you add those things together, and that Darnold did have some talent, and then go ahead and add the O'Connell stuff. I think it's more than just Kevin O'Connell turned a lump of clay into some kind of NFL statue. So now, and again, you remember everybody was giving him credit for Pasternaut. Then Pasternaut fell off the face of the earth. The other guys they used that year didn't do very well. Rippon and Howell are both gone. We didn't work with them very long. So it's not as though it's like every quarterback he's ever coached. That's why, I love him. And I hope that he's able to work with McCarthy. And if he's the one if he gets all the credit, if McCarthy has a great year and they give him all the credit, that's fine too. But I still am a little hesitant to call him quarterback.
Well, coaching can only do so much. Right? Quarterback's still got to be under center. He's still got to make the throws. He's still got to make the reads. Right? They're still making the plays. So I think you can always credit coaching to a certain extent. But let's face it, 95% of a player's performance on the field is tied back to the player. Now, I will say I am curious to see how Sam Darnold does in Seattle this year, right? If Sam Darnold has the same level of success this year in Seattle that he had in Minnesota, I guess you could still maybe tie that back to KOC and that maybe he taught Darnold something to get to this level. But if he falls apart, well, maybe KOC is the quarterback whisperer because what happened to Kirk Cousins when he went to Atlanta? Now, he was coming off a torn ACL, but it didn't go too well for him in Atlanta last year. So I think KOC, and even, you mentioned the quarterback coach, Josh McCown. I think KOC is a pretty darn good coach. I think he's one of the top 5 coaches in the National Football League. Doesn't guarantee every player is going to perform to their absolute capacity just because he's coaching them, but it helps.
One more controversial topic before we go to break, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll bring Michael Russo into the conversation from The Athletic to talk Wild.
The Scotty Scheffler of beat writing for the Minnesota Wild.
Nick Saban, Deion Sanders sound off on CFP structure with auto bids, player bonuses among talking points.
Ooh.
One of the things they said is if you are able to make, I think if I read it correctly, I should admit this working at the All Sports Station, I just skimmed the story. But I think what they're alluding to is if your team makes it to the college football playoffs, you should get a paycheck.
Sure.
That there should be pay, but not just, hey, you got to play in the playoffs. Aren't you proud of yourself? It's a memory you can have for the rest of your life. That's like, well, you played well enough so the entire team gets a chunk of money.
With how much money they're making on television.
See, I agree.
Yeah.
I know there are people. It's been, I'm going to say controversial again, contentious. It depends what camp you're in. There are people that believe firmly that players shouldn't get anything. You're getting a free education. Well, why should you get paid or anything? Everybody should be the same. Then there are others, and I've come to that way of thinking. It's like, well, they're the ones generating the revenue. I mean, yeah, they want to watch Texas play football. They want to watch the Ohio State, Michigan, they want to watch all the Alabama, the helmet schools. But the reason those schools got to where they were was, part of it's coaching, when you got your Nick Sabans of the world, but Paul Bear Bryant's and all the great ones from all over. But it's the players are the reason that made those schools into what they are as far as helmet schools. People pay to watch them. And that playoff system is generating untold millions. I mean, I can't even fathom how many millions of dollars it generates. And I think the players should...
Maybe hundreds of millions.
It could be hundreds. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
And I think they should get a cut of it.
I agree. I have nothing to add. You perfectly stated that.
Oh, thank you. I was hoping you'd have a little more to add because we've got to get in about another 4 minutes out of this segment here. Why don't you talk about how much you love sharing the wealth? Just go with that for instance.
You want to go down that road?
Yeah, go with... Well, no, maybe we don't because I don't want to share any wealth at all. But anyways, so yeah.
I don't have any wealth to share.
So
I'd like some of your wealth, though, if you'd be willing to share it.
And here's another thing. It says, since the CFP began in 2014, the field has already been expanded from 4 to 12. The Big Ten's apparently prepared to push models involving 16, 24, and 28 teams. To me, that's preposterous.
Just stop.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the NCAA basketball tournament wanting to expand. Just should have kept it at 64 from the get-go.
Which include a hefty amount of automatic bids. There have been conversations for up to 4 for itself and the SEC. So the Big Ten and the SEC would get 4. Although Saban's open to expanding the playoff beyond 12 teams, he is far less excited about the idea of automatic bids. Rather, the 7-time national champ would rather see teams earn their postseason berths. He says, the NFC East has the Cowboys, Eagles, and Giants. They have the biggest fan bases of anyone, and they have to play their way in. Everyone should have to play their way in. One year a conference might get 5 teams in, another might get 3, but there's no scenario in any competitive venue where you get a guaranteed playoff spot. And I couldn't agree with you more, with Saban more. When they first talked about, having 4 from the SEC, 4 from the Big Ten, then 2 at large.
Yeah, I disagree.
No.
We want the best teams.
Yeah, because they could be the Big Ten. I mean, when you think about the Big Ten, it has Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State are always pretty good, but after that, why should and Penn State,
yeah.
But why should those 4, they would basically be going every single year. Those 4 teams, every once in a while, one would be out. Iowa might get in, and one
Illinois,
might be out. Illinois, but otherwise, it'd be the same teams going over and over and over again. And no, sorry that I know you generate a lot of eyeballs on, like he says, they generate a lot of the attention. But when it comes to postseason play, that's where you have to throw those things, I think, out the window. There should be no conference automatic bids, especially when there's only going to be 4 or 5 teams generally that are going to get those spots.
When you have that many teams in the country, we want to see the best teams. You're playing for a national championship. The best team should be playing for the national championship.
That is correct. Now, that got us to 54. I think that's fine, right?
Yeah, we can go. This is where you do a little bit of a read. You talk about what's coming on the rest of the show.
Oh, no, we already talked about the rest of the show. How about tomorrow? We got a big day with Progrum Password.
Yeah.
What do we have for Progrum Password?
Lil B will be here at 1 o'clock tomorrow, and then she'll obviously stay through Progrum Password at 1:30, where Corey Cobe, the maestro of the Power Trip Morning Show, and the Tasteless Box of Mashed Potatoes, Justin Gard, will be here at 1:30 to
Do
play
you know what the teams are going to be already? Have you made the team decisions
We're gonna keep Gerdsey and Corey Cove together since they played in the Program Password Invitation. You'll be playing with Lil B tomorrow. Should I can still change that.
No, it's okay.
You want to do the Little B rip, didn't you?
Well, that was part of it. But the other thing is those two are so strong together. This is sort of like, I would compare it as the Gophers against Buffalo tonight.
Are they really that strong together? I mean, they didn't win at all.
Oh, okay. I'll do whatever you want.
I can change it.
I like playing with it.
Zach might have already made the graphics for it, but
when was the last time Little B and I played together? Because we used to play together.
I'm trying to get you to play each other. Yeah.
Oh, and that's nice of you. Yeah. Yes, maybe we'll get along again. So we got that coming up tomorrow.
But then we can't do the rip on her.
Well, no, we still can.
Okay.
And then coming up on Michael Russo standing by. He will join us for an hour. Also, Mark Rosen at 2 o'clock, and then a couple of Frost players, Taylor Heisey and Grace Umwinkle will be joining us to talk a little Frost hockey. So all that and so much more. We'll take our top of the hour break. We're broadcasting live from the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. We're in Carousel Park in the shadows of the grandstand, right here on the Fan.
This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com. Featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Looking to buy your first car or home? Understanding your FICO score is key to achieving your life goals. Knowing your FICO scores helps you apply for loans with confidence and avoid surprises. With MyFICO, you get access to your FICO score, credit reports, 24/7 monitoring, and alerts on the go. Take the mystery out of your score and get your FICO score for free today. Visit myfico.com/free. That's myfico.com/free and discover the score lenders use most.